welcome. It is a new year, new opportunities, new changes, new chapter, and we are back with our first film review of 2023. Ironically, not the first movie we've seen in this year, but the first one we've seen from this year. So here we go. So we did a double feature date night to kind of
kick off the year
and send off our kind of my home theaters of the Malco Paradiso and the Malco Cordova and the Ridgeway, my three main theaters for the past couple years of drive home reviews. So we did a fond farewell to those
because we are on our way mid-move.
That's right.
Which is why there's
it's why the film crew is not with us. And the back is like jammed with my stuff because moving to Iowa. So with my lady love. So that is a lot of lead-in. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to get. But let's get to the point of the matter. The Killer Doll movie. So let's talk about M3GAN.
We need to talk about M3GAN.
It sounds like a Lifetime original movie or a after-school special. We have to talk about M3GAN.
Maybe if they would have sat down and had a conversation about M3GAN, we would be having a much different.
We wouldn't have to.
Yes.
If they had a conversation, it's kind of like being a teacher. If the parent had a conversation about M3GAN, the teacher wouldn't have to. So yeah, we're beating around the bush here, but everyone's probably very familiar with this. It's it's your basic killer doll movie, only the doll is a robot and designed to
be a companion.
Do this to a little girl and takes that duty a little too far, starts to gain sentience, and of course, as we've learned from countless years of horror and sci-fi, the moment anything gains sentience, the first thing it does is try to kill people.
Right. Which should tell us something about humanity.
Yeah.
Really.
So this one's got. I know a lot of people have been talking about it. It's been
getting a lot of really good reviews. It's got a lot of fans from what I've seen. And
so that's going to make this conversation awkward.
Well, let's start with the positive aspects.
Okay.
The CGI and the special effects, the practical special effects in this movie were amazing.
The combination of the things that had to go into actually making M3GAN the character.
Oh, yeah.
And that is the combination, like you said, of CGI, of puppetry, and two different actors, a little girl who's actually in the
M3GAN costume,
the suit, and a voice actor, providing the dialogue. So a lot of elements had to kind of all come together to make M3GAN as a character work, and they work pretty damn well.
Right, the technology and the effects in this are astounding.
Yeah, and a lot of this, the movie is at its best when M3GAN is, I don't know quite how to put it, when M3GAN is the focus and just the,
right.
Sometimes it's the very subtle things of her just watching the little girl playing.
Right.
And it's the subtle eye movements and very...
because obviously she's a prototype, she's not going to be perfect, and so there'll be little, twitches in the eye.
Yeah.
Or, little, just little touches that really make M3GAN her own specific character. Like the part where she's wearing sunglasses and takes the sunglasses off. Obviously she doesn't need sunglasses, she's a robot, but giving that little bit of characteristic to... And
I have to give, and I don't have the name right in front of me, but the young lady who's actually inside the M3GAN...
Amy something. Little New Zealander dancer who's 12 years old.
I think she deserves a lot of credit. Because again, little physical performances are really difficult. People think that they're really easy, but ask someone like Doug Jones,
Right.
who's made a career out of makeup performances and physical performances, just the little tilts of the head,
Right.
you know, and the little way, the little
the stiff walk.
yeah.
Like, you know, it's impressive because it's a robot, but like it is like the stilted little way that she would walk.
Yeah, and what's really interesting about the physical performance of it is that she walks. It's a normal walk, but there's, like I say, there's that little twitch, that little stilt in it that makes your mind go, something's not right about this.
Right.
You know, and that level of subtlety is really hard to do.
Right.
And I really think of all the aspects. I mean, the puppeteering is really great. The voice acting is really great. Bless you.
Excuse me.
So I think all that's really great, but I think the young lady in the suit deserves so much of the adulation for that, what she had to do, because this isn't a motion capture.
Right.
This isn't like, you know, someone's on there with the green dots painted on their face and you go back in the computer and go click, click, click. This is someone on camera, you know, having to do all those things. And I think all those aspects together made M3GAN a really interesting, fun, and unique character.
Yes, none of my complaints have anything to do with the technology of the movie.
Yeah.
You know, and the actress who plays her human playmate, Isla McGraw, is, like, she's always amazing.
Yeah.
Like, she's done some really great work, and
so
she did a good job with this.
For what we are about to say, so with everything else we're about to say, we're going to take those two actors. We're going to take M3GAN as a character and all the people who had to create her, and the other young lady, and we're going to put them in a protective bubble over here. Everything else we are about to speak of,
yes,
is not a reflection on either one of them, because they did, both of them, and again, everybody involved with M3GAN herself did a tremendous job. So, with that being said,
the plot of this movie was holier than Swiss cheese. Like, just, it was so packed and so, it just had no aspiration.
Yeah, and we talked about this kind of in between movies, that the film was getting all this hype and all of this praise and all of this, and what it actually was again, two very great performances, but in the most bland, as you said, cookie cutter, paint by number horror film ever. This film's advertising touts it as this intelligent horror movie.
Right.
You know,
and it could have been.
And that's the frustrating thing. It could have been. But
and the technology is impressive and intelligent, but the film itself is not.
Yes.
Like, the plot line is not. It is nothing different than anything that has been done in the Killer Doll genre.
No.
Like, Killer Doll is my fear. Like, my big movie fear. Chucky, I can't even, like, my brother had one of those My Buddy dolls when he was young, and I can't, like, I couldn't even look at them. Like, no. But this, I may have jumped once in the entire
I think
movie.
you did when there was one of the jump scares with the dog.
Right. But it didn't have anything to do with the doll at all.
Yeah.
Like, none of the things that, like, should have scared me were there. You know?
There was a huge opportunity, and again, we talked about this to go so deep into real questions, real psychological horror. You know, what does it mean when this doll starts to have feelings and starts to question things? And you know, is the reason it's so desperate to protect Katie, is that programming, or is it a twisted version of love? Right. You know, what is actually going on? What is intelligence? What is morality? What is, you know, it's all there. Right. It's all there, laid out. And what they decide to go with is just straight up. The doll decided it wanted to kill people. Right. And it almost did. And we talked about maybe it was production company issues. Yeah, it's hard to tell whether this was more intelligent and it got chopped up. And the company said no, we need something we can pump out sequels to. Right. Or because, like, okay, the part where the first person she kills is this horrible child who is bullying, you know, and apparently has a long record of bullying because no one else wants to be around him. He's abusive to his mother, you know, and instead of like having a discussion or like any kind of outward sign that you're sitting here going like, okay, but this was self-defense, this was protection, she was protecting people, like, it's just straight out, you move on to the next thing and you skip over that whole conversation that we had. And frankly, you know, having daughters, I'm sitting here going, okay, like, it's too bad that it ended like it did, but the initial actions, I can absolutely understand what would be happening there, you know? And so, yeah, so they completely cut out this chance to have a conversation about ethics and morality without showing any of that. And then they make an inference that the Allison Williams character should be Gemma. Who created M3GAN. Yeah. That they have this inference that she has this long history with the AI that went into it. But it's just like one little sentence. Yeah, you don't see it. You know, they don't mention it again. Like, you don't see her struggling to have to like destroy this thing that has been her entire life's work. You know? Yeah, like I said, they went for the easy, because what they decided to go for Gemma's character arc was the classic workaholic. Professional woman. Business. Yeah. I don't know what to do with child. Yeah, decides that she really does love the orphaned niece that she's been saddled with and wants to be a mom. Right. That's what they went with. Yes. And not a thing of, like you said, she made this AI. She created it. We don't care that we're spoiling anything in here for this movie, by the way, so just don't be... Drive Home Reviews, the Always Spoilers podcast. That's right. So, you know, they end this movie in the most typical, you know, horror movie. Look, we have everything we need for a sequel. I mean, totally checked off all the tropes. Beat him up, tear him apart. Oh no, she's dead. She's not dead. Here she comes back. Oh, we gotta kill her again. Yep. You know, like, so, there was no surprise. And not a thing of, you know, Gemma decides she's going to keep M3GAN around, even knowing what she's done, because it's a life form, it's alive, and it's okay. This is one of the things that got me about this movie, and kind of along those same lines. We talked about this as well. Again, this movie is just going for the low-hanging fruit. Yes. The ultimate villain in this movie is, of course, corporate greed. We created this doll. We don't care. We're just going to sell this toy. Yes. There's a toy company. We're going to sell for $10,000. We're going to push it out as fast as we can. Yeah, evil greed. And I am sorry. It's not that I don't believe that toy companies work that way, But you fucking just created Lieutenant Commander Data. And your first thought is, we'll sell it as a toy? You're telling me the military wouldn't pay for shit like this?
Yeah.
The fucking healthcare industry wouldn't pay for shit? The fucking adult film industry?
Like, if there is anyone who's going to be able to create sentient, responsive life first, it is the adult film industry.
Yes!
Like...
But low-hanging fruit, evil corporate greed...
We went from Furby to robot.
To
like,
Data.
Yeah.
And like I say, it's not just like it's an upgraded Furby, it's fucking Commander Data!
But, yes.
Like, and you're just like, and they're just all like, oh, okay. So that's a thing, that's a toy we can sell. At no point do any of the CEOs for this toy company, their thing is, oh, we gotta beat Hasbro.
Right.
It's like, instead of fucking get the Pentagon on the phone. This is, you know, that is how.
Well, and here's, okay, so, all right, you made it a toy. The toy's primary objective is to keep Katie safe and happy.
Mm-hmm.
So why don't we continue that through line through the entire movie? And the thing that destroys M3GAN in the long run is her realizing that she's harming Katie. She's the biggest threat to Katie, so she has to self-destruct. That is an interesting ending. But no, oh no, you know what? I'm a robot doll. I've decided to make myself my primary objective now, and I'm going to destroy the thing I spent the entire film protecting.
And it's kind of like again, almost like any film version of Harley Quinn. Batman the Animated Series did this movie better than this movie. Go watch the episode Heart of Steel, and it did this movie better than this movie. What encapsulates to me the biggest problem with this movie, the thing that is kind of this movie in a nutshell, is the famous scene that's become a TikTok thing.
Right.
It's the dance sequence M3GAN does before she kills evil businessman boss.
Which, that murder doesn't make any sense because he was not posing any threat to Katie.
Or to her.
Or to her. Like, he's just standing in the hallway. Doing nothing. And so, and yes, that's okay. That's great. That little music, the choreography of that was really cool. But there wasn't enough in the movie before or after to make sense why she decided to.
Why did she do it?
Like, why did she do a little dance?
Why is that happening?
And literally all they had to do was put a line in that says, M3GAN loves to dance.
Yeah, they have it in part of a montage where Katie and M3GAN are dancing. But that's it. And they have a lot of things in that montage.
Like, they're also drawing and, you know, like, they're doing all this other stuff.
So there's nothing that separates dancing.
Like, she's not dancing in any other part.
No.
It's not like she's walking through the house dancing.
There are a couple of times where she sings to Katie, and the audience was laughing at this.
Right.
And it's like, no, that makes sense. She's singing a lullaby. That makes sense with what's going on.
And as cool as that little scene was, it would have made more sense for her to be singing a song about murdering him.
Yes, or singing or doing... Like I say, singing in that way, my best friend Matt thinks little kids are the creepiest thing. Yeah. You know, in that same way that, you know, they used to do for Nightmare on Elm Street, you know, 1, 2, Freddy's coming for... You know, if she was singing a sweet little song while she was hunting him down, that makes sense. Or if she, as you said, if they had planted little hints in there of like, well, what did you and Katie do today? We danced. Katie likes to dance. Well, you know... Or M3GAN loves to dance. It's like, well, why? Well, do you mean you love to dance? No, M3GAN likes to. That it's the first sign that she is starting to develop likes and preferences and has a personality. Right. Then it would make sense. Or you said this. There's a scene where M3GAN's watching Katie play out in the yard. She's playing with a little suction cup bow and arrow. Right. And she's playing she's hunting down people in the yard. There's like she's Robin Hood or something. But M3GAN's not out there playing with her. Yes, so like if they were out there playing a game called something like Dancing Assassin, which is not ridiculous because kids play shit like that. Yes. You know, then it would have made sense that she brings that back later.
So, like, yes.
But that's that.
Or if she had done a little dance before she decides to attack the other kid.
Yeah.
Like, this is a sign that Megan's about to kill you.
Yeah.
She starts dancing. Like, no, there's no callback. There's no through line.
And that is the ultimate problem with this movie. Great visuals.
No through line.
But nothing that justifies any of it in a logical way. It made good marketing, so that's why we did it.
If I can go a little, esoteric professory on you here.
Please do.
The point, like, the thing in this movie...
I like when you play professor. Anyway, sorry.
The thing in this movie is that she has this amazing technology. But what she fails to do is put in parental controls, protocols. She doesn't give it the framework to make it properly function. And that is exactly what the filmmakers did. They had this amazing technology, they had these amazing special effects, but they didn't give the plot of the movie the framework it needed to really be something amazing.
Yeah, and as it stands, it's just child's play for the next generation. And
only child's play was more interesting. Like, I hate it, and it haunts my nightmares, but it was more interesting than this.
Yeah. So yeah. So there you have it. All right. So let's wrap up. So final grade for you for M3GAN.
I gotta sit at a C-, because I would give it a lower grade except for the kids who played, M3GAN and Katie were, that was really well done. And I love use of puppetry and practical effects done in a really good way. So I gotta sit at C-.
Okay. I'm going to be just a tiny bit more generous.
Mm-hmm.
Just a tiny bit, and give it a solid C.
Okay.
Because the stuff that you mentioned,
right, yeah,
I really liked.
Yeah.
Like, I really liked M3GAN as a character and as a piece of filmmaking. And it's one of those things where, when they inevitably do their sequel, maybe if they give it to somebody who's a little bit more ambitious,
yeah,
or the studio actually again, we don't know if the problem was studio interference or just the screenwriter didn't know any better. I don't know.
It almost is like being in theater, we've had discussions. When you are directing a musical, you have to decide, am I going to get musicians who act, so they're really good at the musical part, but not maybe so great at the acting part? Or am I going to get actors who sing, so they're really great at acting and character work, but maybe they're not as good a musician?
Yeah. This
felt like it was a special effects designer who wrote a screenplay.
Yeah.
And really, like, if they could have gotten Jordan Peele.
Yeah.
To write this screenplay.
Jordan Peele would have had a field day with this.
This would have been an astounding piece. So, yeah.
And
I think that's why it frustrates me.
Yeah.
Because, otherwise, if it didn't have so much potential, I would just be like, okay, that was a movie I watched.
Exactly.
But,
I'm willing to give it a C because the parts of it I really liked, but everything else just it was average. It was very meh.
Yes. Yes. And if there's one thing that we hate more than anything, it's movies that had no right to be bad or bland.
Yeah. Yeah. So there you have it. So first film out the gate. I always kind of say that you could kind of gauge how the year at the movies is going to go by the first movie you see. So I don't know.
I'm just going to pretend like Glass Onion was the first movie I saw for the year. I know it came out.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay, fair.
I'm just saying I'm going to use the Glass Onion as my gauge.
So we'll see where we're at in 12 months and see what happens. But that's it. That's our first one. But like I said, this was a date night double feature. So we've got another one of these coming up right away. So we'll see you in a little bit. So thank you for joining us, and as always, drive safe, and we will see you at the movies.